Welcome to another episode of Baby Bounce Back. This is week 37 of fitness training after having my fourth child. I have lost all but 5 pounds of my baby weight. My husband has told me that those 5 pounds will be the most difficult set to lose because everything I've already been willing to sacrifice, I have already sacrificed. So I have to look at all the things that I wasn't willing to sacrifice yet and see where in my nutrition, attitude, my sleep, and my movement I can make a change for the better. When we started homeschooling again, my movement did kind of slow down. I lost some steam with it because I've got so much energy going other places. And with a baby that's still breastfeeding, my sleep is going to be what it is. So I believe the only other two places for me to focus on would be my nutrition and my attitude. So I've got to look at my nutrition and my attitude and figure out where I can make some good tweaks. These are my new pants that I bought last week, and they are the only pair that I have that reach all the way down to my ankle. So that's what's nice about these new pants. They're actually long enough for my legs. We have cut down on the sugar in this house drastically for the last month, and my hair has started bouncing back. It's getting its shine back, it's getting its curl back. It's just loving the fact that I'm not eating as much sugar as I used to. I wanted to stop for a second and mention that this is the first time since I started doing this playlist that my elbows have looked even in this shot. Usually my left elbow is kind of sticking off to the side. But this is the first time that I'm actually even in my shoulders. So maybe that crossover symmetry is actually working, which is awesome. I love my crossover symmetry system. It's doing a good job. It's helped me straighten out my thoracic spine, which has had a kind of a curve happening in it ever since I started homeschooling last year, and I was hunched over the kitchen table for a whole year. And with this clip, we're going to begin our week of comparisons. Here I am rowing, and I have actually improved my stroke in the last 16 weeks, so in the last 4 months. I was able to pull a consistent 1,200 calories per hour during the workout today, and 4 months ago, I was lucky if I got 1,000. This clip is going to show you how I've slowed down now that I've started homeschooling. 4 months ago, I'm like whipping around real fast. I'm taking it easy on myself because I have so many other things on my plate now. I also might have just had more time this week, and so I'm not rushing so much through my workouts like I was 4 months ago. Just rushing through my things. Maybe that's a note to self. I can increase my speed. How do you treat yourself? I wanted to pause and talk about this picture for a minute. There is no protein source shown on this screen. So if I was to improve this meal or this snack, it would be to include some type of protein source, because this right now is a plate full of carb. Another thing that we have discovered this week is instead of peanut butter and jelly, because that is a heck ton lot of jelly on that piece of bread, instead of peanut butter and jelly, switching to peanut butter and smashed fruit. So we're using actual fruit that's just smashed, no extra sugars in it at all. Just the sugars that occur naturally in the strawberries. That is an example of how I analyze our meals and our snacks. Shout out to my daughter for taking this picture. We all enjoy our snack time. We read a little bit of poetry and enjoy a bite. The poet we're studying this term is Alfred Lord Tennyson. I prefer his simpler things like the flower, the eagle, the oak. For me, when reading poetry, less is often more. I enjoy the simpler verse and rhyme. My son enjoys the stories, narrative poems. It's like reading a song. Moving on to Wednesday, we will continue with our week of comparisons. The next picture, it is so beautiful, it looks computer generated, but this is just a snapshot of my street as I went out for my warm-up jog today. And that's a view of my house. We get 3 trash cans because we sort our garbage. And this is the front door of my house. I love how my shutters actually work. This is where we get into my crossover symmetry system. I got this system a few years ago. I was having issues with my shoulders, and it has done wonderful things for me. A few years ago when I started using it, I happened to have a very stiff upper rib at the time, and that stiff upper rib was pulling on tendons and muscles and making my shoulders crack, like I was getting a cracking sound. And so using the crossover symmetry system with help from the physical therapist, I was able to improve that situation, and my shoulders don't clack anymore, which is good. There's just a lot of moving pieces when it comes to your shoulder, and the crossover symmetry system does a great job of addressing your all-around shoulder health and stability. This incline plus is one of the more difficult movements for me right now. Any of the ones that involve sliding the shoulder blades forward and backward, those are my trouble spots right now, but even those are improving. My husband, good man, took it upon himself to sign me up for a massage this week. So on Friday, I went in and I had my back and neck massage, which I honestly should just do more often. Here I am noticing my thigh is much thinner in my current photo than I was 6 months ago, as well as my hips and my torso. I am much slimmer now than I was back then. Maybe it's not so easy to see, but it is a difference of 15 pounds. I'm 15 pounds lighter than I was in that previous picture. It's a gradual process. I think by the end of this, I will average about half a pound of weight loss a week. Of course, we want it to go faster than that. We want to just snap our fingers and have it disappear. But it's often in reaching for shortcuts that we make poor decisions. We get so desperate to get it done and over with as quickly as possible that we forget why the tortoise wins the race. The hare is so busy trying every new fad. Ooh, let me try this, let me try that, let me try this. And their little sprints fizzle out and amount to nothing because they're looking for those shortcuts. Sprinting to a shortcut, which ultimately leads to failure. The tortoise wins the race with slow and steady consistency, which takes an emotional maturity that I don't always have, honestly. It's not easy. I mean, it's simple, it's basic, it's steady, but you gotta put down the ducky if you want to play the saxophone. So what part of your old life are you willing to sacrifice to move into that new capability that you want to have? All of your previous life choices got you where you are now. If you want your future to be somewhere other than where you are right now, you have to start making different choices. But I understand that that comes with recognizing which choices you are currently making. So it's understanding, oh, this is what's on my plate. Oh, and this is how I can make it better. With all the effort that it takes to learn a new habit. I wanted to show you this really quick. I have crooked hips and a fractured spine, and with all of that crookedness going on, it leads to tension all the way up into my neck. And so what I do is I lean up next to the bar, and I stand up under it and allow it to kind of mash that muscle right there at the base of my neck. Along with this, my massage lady also recommended stretching out these muscles instead of always mashing them, giving them some time to breathe. It's important when working on your neck to be very careful. There's a lot of small pieces all working together like we were talking about in our shoulders, that it just increases the narrowness of space when you move up into your neck. A lot of little pieces all moving in the same small space. So it's important to be gentle with yourself and your neck. So to conclude and to finish up with this week of comparisons, I can say that it's easier to fit into my clothes. I'm thinner than I was. I'm fitter than I was, but I am moving slower than I was. I believe that when I strained my back, putting my baby into the car seat a few weeks ago, I don't remember which week it was, that it really pushed me back. As far as my movement goes, I slowed down. I stopped pushing so hard. I'm not swinging the bell as fast as I used to. I'm not moving the jump rope as fast as I used to. I've slowed down to, I guess, take care of the healing factor of my back. I did. I slowed down to accommodate the healing, and that was a good choice. Getting a massage this week was also a good choice. She happened to be a physical therapist also. That was a win-win. She gave me some stretches to help my recovery in regards to my strained muscle. She found it, that spot. She put her hands on all of my pain. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching.
Remember, keep moving.